Good afternoon, respected Dr. B. Kalpana, Head Department of Genetics and Biotechnology, faculty members of the department, and our distinguished guests for the day, and our beloved alumni, Dr. Vasavi Mohan, Head and Consultant, Department of Cytogenetics, Apollo Health and Lifestyle, Ms. Pujita, Genome Analyst, MedGenome, Mr. N. Krishna Chaitanya, PhD Scholar at CCMB. And my dear students, to this Alumni Meet 2023 of our department. Today, I, Mrs. D. Matilda Roslin, Assistant Professor, Department of Genetics and Biotechnology, take pleasure in welcoming you to this most awaited alumni meet. Your alma mater is like a mother, patiently accepts all your hoods, but proudly presents your achievements to the world. No wonder why our alma mater is called our second home. I take immense pleasure in introducing our first guest for the day, Dr. Vasavi Mohan. She's the ex-member Board of Studies, Bhavan's Vivekananda College, has 20 plus years of experience in human genetics research and diagnostic testing, initial training course in cytogenetics and AIIMS New Delhi, PhD in cancer genetics and postdoc at Department of Molecular Oncology, Adyar Cancer Institute, Chennai, and a faculty for BTech Biotechnology and MTech Molecular Medicine at Anna University in 2005. She has many recognition and has added many accolades to her profile. She has published many works in journals of national and international repute, recently co-authored a reference text and other chapters in books pertaining to her area of work, has been engaged in cytogenetic and molecular diagnostics, experienced in genetic counseling of patients with bad obstetric history, infertilities, neurodegeneration, sexual chromosomal disorders, pediatric leukemias, and other cancers. Associate Fellow with Telangana Academy of Sciences. She has worked on some DBT, DST sanctioned research projects, SPI, and presently working as research in charge at Vasavi Medical and Research Center, Hyderabad, and part-time consultant and head of cytogenetics department at Apollo Healthcare and Lifestyle, Hyderabad. Now, I turn over the time to Dr. Vasavi Mohan. Ma'am, we are not able to hear you, ma'am. Can you unmute?
Now? Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had muted myself. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I thank you for introducing me, Matilda, and thank the organizers of this alumni meet for organizing this meeting where we get a chance to share as alumni of this institution. We get to share our achievements back with our staff, our teachers, and the students present there, the current batches present there. So it's a pleasure for me to visit Bhavans or to connect with Bhavans at any point, anytime. Thank you so much. So I think I was the second batch at the at Bhavan's college, and when we had come, we had just 4 buildings, very small buildings, very simple. I think the first thing I came and saw, I remember, was I had seen the canteen was very small. There was just chai and samosa there. So I thought, how am I going to survive in this college where there is only tea and samosa? No, so that was my first impression, but nothing like that. It was after that, it was all magic after that in Bhavans for me. And right from the beginning, the way we were, the discipline, the way the discipline was put into our systems very gently but very strongly, which stayed with us after that for the rest of the, I think, the career path that we took up. All that I owe back to Bhavans and my teachers back there. So it was in 94, 94 to 97, that was my batch. And today being Onam celebrations, I was putting this, floral mugu, and I was plucking some leaves. I'm sorry to go very informal like this, but I was plucking some leaves and I was asking my gardener, give me nerium leaves, that is ganeru leaves. So that's what Dr. Jyoti had done to us. So she gave us botany so beautifully that today common names are very difficult to come, but scientific names come everywhere. So even with the flower vendor, we are trying to tell him the scientific name, and then we realize we are not in Jyoti ma'am's class, so we've got to go back to the common name and ask him for the flower. So it was so nice. That's what it was, and the teaching stayed with us after that. So from Bhavans, I went on to do my MSc, and then subsequently I did my PhD and postdoctoral. Postdoctoral, I tried to keep with cancer research all the while because that was my area of interest. Genetics was there. Genetics was the holding on to tool for me because I found that at that point of time, the answers to cancer lay in the domain of genetics. Though I had initially done my coursework with Bhavans, my BSc work in microbiology. And then from there on, then when I came back from Chennai to Hyderabad, I worked with different institutions. I think for 4 years, 5 years, I kept moving places where I got experience in pediatric cancers. Then I got experience in infertilities, all genetics. It was most of my interest was around diagnostics. I also connected myself with research because it is nice to see sitting in a research lab, just doing research and not being connected with what is the bedside need was not sufficient for me. I felt I needed to know what was the need at bedside so that my research became more meaningful. That was my way of thinking and my thought process. And I think that was something also which was inculcated by my teachers at Bhavans. So they, while the classes were amazing and while the teaching was amazing, I remember Ganesh sir had told us, fend for yourself. He hardly brought the textbook to the class. He taught us the lesson so well, but we had to go back and open our textbook and see which part of the textbook he taught from. Yeah. So I think the idea is that your teachers do their part by the teaching section, but after that to explore with the knowledge that is imparted to you is up to the student whether you decide your priorities, whether your priority is being an academic person or you want to go outright and start off into a passionate career niche that you decide for yourself. All that is up to the student who is there. Yeah. So that's basically how, and then I eventually joined Apollo. Apollo, I've been here for 6 years, working in the Department of Genetics, and I have been associated with introducing new tests into the lab. We have had a very simple baseline lab to now we have advanced techniques like even microarray and all going on. So the facility is there, the opportunities are out there. We have to decide at this point of time, at your college level, you have to decide what is your liking, for which you have to get exposed to a lot of these talks, conferences, workshops, you name it. I used to go to a place wherever I think there is some amount of information, even if you sit for a part of the time and not the entire time, but you get exposed to it so that you realize whether that is your area of craving or not. I have noticed for myself that unless you really crave for a certain branch of work, it is difficult to remain associated with the same branch for a long time. Yeah. So, but it is each one's lookout. Some people might want to explore one field, then you say, okay, I've done enough here, I go to another. You can be bold enough to do that also. That is also acceptable. It is each one's style of operating. At the end, you have to do something. You've studied this far, and you should be academically or career-wise active all through. I think that is more meaningful to our existence basically. If I can just share my screen, I have a very small presentation that I've made. Am I audible, Dr. Kalpana, here?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, yeah. So I've just shared my screen. If you can tell me that it is visible, then I'll go ahead.
Visible, ma'am. We can see it.
Okay. So I've made a very small presentation. I won't go very detailed into what genetics we are doing and how it is, but generally to tell you what options are there in genetics and in and around genetics. I've put this PPT together with just a couple of slides. So we know now genomics is there, genetics is there, and unlike even 5 or 7 years ago, when genetics was still not known, now people read enough material on the internet. They're aware of what basic genes, genetics, chromosomes, DNA means. A lot of them. They're informed, and with that information, there is greater uptake of genetic tests or even simple things like understanding your genetic makeup to have a better lifestyle. People are even available to do that kind of testing for you, and there are public members who are well informed of this and come and take up these tests with laboratories, various laboratories. So I think from the, I should say from the era of the Human Genome Project, the way by leaps and bounds we have seen the technology transform has been really enormous. Right from the billions of dollars that the first sequencing must have costed, and to the mere fraction of cost that it takes now, how technology has developed, how it has become closer to applicative science, and how we are able to utilize it for example, in my case, healthcare. There are other fields, of course, is definitely remarkable. So, in the case of clinical medical practice, for us, we use it for determining health risks. And in this case, we not only take the genetic makeup of a person, we also include his lifestyle practices, the environment or the exposures to which he is exposed to. Sorry to use the word again, but exposed to, so that personalized treatment can be delivered to this individual. Personalized in the way that it is not standard treatment for a certain condition, but making use of all individual information, putting it together. And now we know a genetic counselor is available for such roles, but that's part for later. So that's another area, that's another career largely waiting to be grabbed. In the hospital industry, at least, every practitioner now wants a genetic counselor with them, so that it is easy for them to communicate information to the patient, and it is easy for the laboratory to communicate information to the clinician as well as the patient through the assistance of a counselor. Okay, and the technology is now slowly going towards where we can have a potential cure for some of these genetic diseases by editing technologies, genome editing technologies. Yeah, that's one part of it. That is diagnostics and diagnostic application. So there is another group, another whole world of academic genetics where researchers are there. They're looking at primary questions or applicative research kind of answers to how is this entire genome being regulated. You know a lot of portion of the genome, but there's a huge portion that's still not totally known. So how are those areas of the genome helping in regulation of the rest of the known genome that we have? Or how are they driving the cell fate during embryo development? How are the various pathways interacting with each other, etc., etc.? And now how these are then contributing to disease. That is, we have realized most of the diseases are multifactorial. Yeah, there are single gene disorders, there are multi-gene disorders, etc. Then there is another area, that is epigenetics. Genetics is one thing, epigenetics is another huge branch that is developing now, less known, less used in diagnostics, but developing now. And soon we think that that will give large answers which are not currently got from the area of genome and genetics. Because after all, we know and we believe that while you have DNA as the blueprint of life, you have this DNA that might be still getting regulated during the lifetime of an individual because of various exposures we have, whether it is exposure through hearing, knowledge, eating, air we breathe, whatever, and all that would come under the domain of epigenetic studies. Yeah. Then you have the microbiome. That is, you have your body is cohabited with a lot of useful and harmful bacteria. So how your microbiome is there, how the entire microbiology is working in your body system to keep the functioning of various organs and also derailment of those organs. So microbiology, microbiome is another huge area connected with genetics. So these are all interconnected sciences. You could go from one area to the other, keeping one as your stronghold and learning from the other area also. Nutritional genetics is yet another area that affects health and disease that is being practiced and learned a lot nowadays. Agricultural genetics too. And to talk of a few contributions, like I said, you have this gene editing, and now you have in utero editing. In utero editing probably a little more acceptable than the earlier thought for genome editing because of ethical issues involved. So that makes ethics in genetics and in technology development or in healthcare another huge area where there are few hands, there are few people who know of that area. You come to know of that area only once you get into this subject, but through talks and all, you will know that that's one field that you can take up. Yeah, ethics is a huge area. You have lots of courses that are there around. I'm not very well informed of the courses, but yeah, you could explore and find out. Yeah, ethics in genetics, ethics in healthcare is yet another fetching kind of a career. And you have, like I was saying, you have these people who come to the laboratories now just to see how their health style, their lifestyle is maintaining or non-maintenance of their hair, how it is contributing to non-maintenance of health. So they come, they want to find out what they can do to better their health, how to improve their lifestyle, whether it is diet or any risk factors that they have that they can take care of initially itself to keep the disease at bay for as long as possible or even completely disease free. Yeah. So lifestyle diseases, lifestyle disorders and all would come under this category. A very normal healthy person could quite well walk into a clinic, a genetic clinic, and say, I want to know how my lifestyle is working, how my general genetic makeup is, and whether you could suggest any improvements on this. And the geneticist, the analyst would give you a whole battery of, how to better your lifestyle, etc., etc. So the genomic analyst is there. Yeah, and you have large amount of data. You have large amount of data on your systems that are placed. So computer-based information. Yeah, and in imaging technologies, etc. Those are also now very well sought of because we need bioinformatics person for doing all our bioinformatic data analysis before we get it out into a report form. There we have recommended for a lot of our students that don't suddenly come from an arts area into bioinformatics and then expect that you will be wonderful in healthcare system. You have to have a certain amount of science background. Otherwise, it becomes very challenging for a non-science person who has suddenly decided it is very interesting to do bioinformatics and healthcare. So the application is, it takes quite a while for them to set themselves into applicative science in our area. However, if you have a science background and then you have added bioinformatics to your test menu, your career menu, It is a very nice combination. Then you can go out there because you have a lot of data platforms which require computer knowledge and all that, and data sharing, etc., with clinics, with laboratories. That is again a huge branch which requires these people with computer and bioinformatics or coding, etc., skills. So health, so that is one part, and then the technology development itself. That is, we have a lot of machines that we use, and the technology used in these machine systems is again so wonderful when you're using a new machine like the chromosomal microarray, for instance. When we initially got it, we were just interested in how the report was generated. Then we realized the machine itself and the probes themselves, manufacture of the array, the probe, the machine, etc. All that itself is very interesting to know. That can also become an area for anybody who's wants to be connected with science but not exactly doing diagnostics or research. Yeah, and you have right now these equipment are all very costly, but if there can be people who can put strategies in place to cost cut and bring it down to more accessible prices for all laboratories, then the screening for diagnostics or for disease prognosis, for disease management, etc., becomes more accessible to the common public also. So the idea is that genomics should be there for everyone, irrespective of their ability to or their affordability, basically. So like I was saying, not just healthcare, agriculture, forensics, then drug efficacy and toxicity, or ancestry studies, then species preservation, microbiome, etc. And you can keep adding to the list. I just put a few where genetics, genomics, allied areas can be used, and you can have wonderful careers there. You just have to finish your coursework and then start exploring. I think you have abundant information on the internet which can cater to all such questions. Yeah. So that's about it from me. I think I can stop sharing. Thank you, Dr. Kalyan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vasavi Mohan. At very short notice, you agreed to come for this online seminar with your busy schedule. So thank you
No,
very much. We will keep troubling you again and again
no,
since
no,
you are
my
our
pleasure
alumni.
actually, my pleasure. So whenever there are students who come to me for career information, I tell them if you have a lot of interest, just go to Bhavans because they have the ability to cater to multiple interests. That's what I tell them. I've sent quite a few children there. And comparing other places also, I've seen that from the time we have been there to now, I think it has only been the upward curve of growth, nothing ever going flattening or. So thanks to all of you for maintaining the standards out there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And any queries, students, please, would you like to ask any queries? You can ask ma'am from the area of genetic counseling or genetic diagnostics, anything in the area of human genetics. Because we have an expert here who is very distinguished in her field.
If there is nothing, shall I log out? Dr. Kalpana?
Ma'am, the genomics of the future must be a genomics for all, regardless of ethnicity, geography, or ability to afford. Thank you for inculcating this valuable session and a huge responsibility that we should take over genetics to the future. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Still left. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
We are very delighted and happy to welcome Krishna Chaitanya, who was an MGC student from Bhavans. Our favorite student of the department, should say. He has completed his MSc in biochemistry and CSIR fellow, and currently a PhD SRF scholar at CCMB Hyderabad. We are very happy to see you after a very long time, Chaitanya. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are very kind words, I have to say. I'm very delighted and happy to see my former teachers, Sushma ma'am and Kalpana ma'am and Nagamanju ma'am, all of them sitting there through the video. Uh, I'm really happy. And thank you so much for inviting me to talk to you guys first, second, third years of genetic course, I guess. And so I would, so you have heard a detailed analysis and then what all opportunities that are available after the genetics if you pursue it further. I mean, in the field of industry, I would say. But however, I am pursuing PhD. So I would tell you from the start where I have started BSc microbiology, genetics, and chemistry, how I went through and got here doing a PhD in CCMB. So, my 3 years course of microbiology, genetics, and chemistry, especially the genetics part, was taught by Jyoti ma'am, Kalpana ma'am, and Sushma ma'am. While Jyoti ma'am and Sushma ma'am taught us molecular aspects of the genetics, Kalpana ma'am was solely focusing on the population genetics and the evolutionary aspects of the genetics. I have to say, these are the most sincere and then helpful teachers I ever met in my life. And then the my basically the department itself used to organize many trips, and then there used to be a very strong practicals that has been went through like for 3 years. These trips, especially one of the trip I remember was to the Institute of Genetics. I think you guys are still going over there because these practicals and then Institute of Genetics visit and to IICT visit, it has inspired me and then had pushed me a lot to take research as a career. So, uh, as it ignited a research interest in me, I had lot of like appreciation and then a push from our department. Especially, I have to mention the name. Sushma ma'am was the one who believed in me. It's not like other teachers didn't believe. It's like she was the one who recognized that I can do further. I can be much better than what I was in the BSc. So she was the one who asked us, my couple of friends and me, to apply to Central University of Hyderabad. Then we were not confident. We did not take any courses as such to write entrance examinations. We were not confident at all. But only hope was whatever things that have taught they taught us in these 3 years in the course. Hope was that the questions would be in from that part. And then with that, we went to write exams for BHU, HCU, and then Central University sets. Very surprisingly, I can't believe, but still I saw the scorecard TAFR. We cleared all of the exams. Especially we were getting all India ranks, me and then couple of others. I was getting like BHU all India second in biochemistry, third in I think microbiology, and then HCU I was getting 10th in all over India. So all the exams was cleared with ease without any training or coaching additionally required. So I think our curriculum is very strong. What I would suggest is whatever they are teaching, take it seriously and then take notes, especially, and then be thorough with whatever that has been taught, that has been taught to you. So once the MSc part is done, my love for genetics has pushed me to take a PhD in Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, where I'm currently working as a senior research fellow. I'm about to complete my third year. So here I work on, like I use genetics as a tool to understand how bacterial cell walls uh, are being made. Basically, as you know, most of the antibiotics, especially the beta lactams, target the bacterial cell wall synthesis. So I work on to understand the regulatory aspects of how bacterial cell walls are made using genetics as tools. So said that. I would once again thank all the teachers as you are all there. Um, uh, you know, the moment I took the course in Bhavan's, I think that has led the path to where I am today. And then and all of my professors were surprised how well equipped we were. In MSc, the professors were surprised that you guys have been taught very well. That's what they have said. So I keep on telling to Sushma ma'am and all Kalpana ma'am that, and Aparna ma'am, that this is what they say. You guys are great. I mean, like at least the theoretical basis is very strong. So said that, thank you once again. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask me right now, or you'll get my contact number or mail ID from our department ma'ams, and then you can contact me at any time. So I hope this information is well enough, and then if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll end my talk right here.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are very proud to have you here. Students, do you all have any doubts to ask?
Sorry, did someone ask a question? Right.
Hello, my name is Sushil. I'm in BTG first year. My doubt is that hello, my name is Sushil. I'm from BTG first year.
Okay.
My doubt is that which colleges preferred after UG in genetics?
So, uh, genetics as such might not be offered like MSc genetics. I don't remember exactly which universities offer MSc genetics. Rather, it will be a biotechnology course, MSc in biotechnology and genetics. It will be in a combination. So I would suggest after you complete your UG, you can look after many ICERs, Indian Institute of Scientific and Educational Research, or central universities. But among the central universities, you have to focus on HCU and JNU. Those are the only two good ones I can figure. I think then among the central universities, and then and there are TAFR. There are TAFR Hyderabad, there for Mumbai. I would suggest keep checking these institutes and then the courses they offer. See, although genetics has been is getting is being taught as a BSc course in our college, you will never miss. I mean, like it's a fundamental thing, right? It's a fundamental thing. It will be in every course which you take in your MSc. But what I would suggest is ICERS, TAFR, and Central University, especially HCU and JNU, is what you should look after, and then the courses which they have been offered.
One more doubt.
Yes.
After MSc, we got jobs. What are the paid jobs in genetics? Paid off.
So, actually, I came to the academic side, but as far as I remember, it's a genetic counseling is one of the job which you can take up. And then regarding the job aspects, I can only tell you about how in academic what all the jobs you can get. I mean, like in the academy, you just have to do a PhD and then a postdoc and then become a professor or a teacher as everyone does mostly. But if you want the, I think, what's the industry aspect, I think Pujita will be a very good option, who is the next speaker. She might comment better on that. But from academic perspective, you will have not much options. You just have to do your MSc and then go for a PhD and then a postdoc.
Should we write exams for getting MSc?
Yeah, yes, Shishir, you need to write exams. I'm sure our teachers will guide you very well. I mean, like right after third year, you will be writing Central University entrance examination, and then each institutes have their own exams. So you need to clear them to get through MSc.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you so much. Yes, Sushma ma'am.
Chaitanya, so nice to meet you once again.
Yeah, nice
As
to
you
meet you
said,
guys too.
when a student surpasses the teacher, that is the best gift he can give it to the teacher. So I'm really thankful, and you're doing so well. Wish you much more success in future endeavors.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I want to say Kalpana, ma'am. I mean, like, she is the best part about the evolutionary genetics. I mean, I love her classes. Although I was mischievous sometimes in her classes, but those classes are the ones which are, I mean, like, the especially the evolutionary part. I mean, I can't still forget about the evolutionary part and the Hardy-Weinberg equilibriums. I mean, like, those are the simply amazing ones which I can think of. The 3 years I was so happy, ma'am. I mean, like, I know. So you guys will know once you get out of the institute, right? Like, what is the value of what they are. So I can happily say that whatever she teaches is amazing. Uh, Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Krishna Chaitanya. Happy that you remember Hardy-Weinberg law. So, since anybody who's into research cannot do away with the Hardy-Weinberg law,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
it's nice that you have acknowledged all of us. And like Sushma ma'am said, I wish you much more success in all your endeavors. And um, one thing is with a PG in genetics, actually, even you are open to all the companies, the biotechnology companies, the pharmaceutical companies. So it's only that the students need to be aware of what are the companies which hire them, and they can basically diverge into any area if they study genetics
Yes,
or biotechnology, like, because these are areas which are core, which to any aspect of biology.
yes,
So
yes,
it's all about your interest and passion.
yes.
Whatever area you are interested in, you should pursue that.
That's
So
true. That's true.
thank you very much for your informative talk with our students. So wish you all the best once again.
Yeah. And also, if at all possible, what I would like to do is, ma'am, if I have like my PhD course of microbial genetics, especially what I have done in these 2 years is on a very basic mechanism. of a genetic aspect in the microbiology. So if at all, I mean, like, I don't know when, but in the next 3 years, when I'll be in India, I wish to talk to you guys about it. I mean, like, what I have discovered. So that would be very helpful, because the ones which you taught me in the 3 years, and that is what has been applied in my PhD too. So, and that is also a very basic aspect, and everyone can understand it. So I would really enjoy if that talk can be arranged. I mean, like, even if it is an informal one. So I would love to do that. But again, once again, thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you, students, for being patient and then listening to me. And with that, I'll sign off, I guess.
Thank you so much. Back with you. You're open to come to our department at any time. You can just walk in.
Sure, sure.
We are always open.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to Sushma ma'am for organizing this alumnus meet with Krishna Chaitanya.
Thanks, man.
Now we have Ms. Pujita K, an innovative and performance-driven science professional with rich experience in genetics, genomics, and molecular biology, with a master's degree in biomedical genetics and a year of hands-on experience in NGS data analysis, variant interpretation, prioritization, and variant classification as per ACMG guidelines for germline variations. Currently, as a genome analyst in Med Genome Labs Limited, Bangalore. We're very happy to have you, Pujita. I turn over the time to you. She's there. Pujita? Pujita, are you there? You should unmute. Unmute and speak. Unmute your to join with me. You can log out and log in. Pujita, can you hear me? Can you unmute? Not able to unmute. Can you hear, Pujita? Can you hear? Okay. Okay.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Please switch on your video. Enable your video.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I hope I'm audible, ma'am. Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you. You can carry on.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me to talk today. And I'm really grateful that I've been part of this organization. And I would like to start by saying that, growing up, I always stood out due to my height. So in India, where the average height of female is 5'2", I stand at 5'11". So this mostly made me uncomfortable until my high school teacher gently explained me that it is all in the genes, and this is a trait that I got from my father. So I set out about charting the family pedigree tree for height, and I've been enthralled with genetics ever since. So by pursuing a bachelor's degree in biotechnology and genetics and a master's degree in biomedical genetics, I have since tried to build a strong foundation in molecular genetics, biotechnology, molecular biology, chemistry, and biochemistry. So, bachelor's in Bhavans was a very cherishable memory for me. The course was structured in a way that it helped me learn all the concepts very well. uh, Genetics was taught to me by Dr. Jyoti Nair, Dr. Rachna, Dr. Sushma, Dr. Nagamanju, Dr. Kalpana, Mohini ma'am, then chemistry by Dr. Madhumita ma'am, Naiji ma'am, and everyone else. They are expert in their own field, and the knowledge I gain from them is very invaluable. And uh, I learned first about NGS during my third year genetic classes. Dr. Rachna taught us about Sanger sequencing and NGS methods. And eventually, I ended up becoming a genome analyst. So, I would like to tell everyone that it is very necessary to know what you're pursuing, you know, about one particular field and what made you choose it. So 4 years back, when I was in the same situation where you guys are right now. I had in-depth knowledge about theory and practicals, but I didn't know how to look for job descriptions or any other career options other than PhD. So I could not relate to any of it and felt unaccomplished when it came to job descriptions, because theoretically and practically I had every knowledge, but when it comes to job descriptions, everyone told me about multiple job descriptions. Like Dr. Manju told me about doing a PhD. Dr. Rachna taught me about genome analysis and everything. But it is important that we make our CV correctly. So I would like to say that start to network way early in your career with people who are already working after getting their masters, be it industry or academia. You should you know should study eligibility criteria for various jobs while you're already pursuing your bachelor's or master's, and you should gain the required expertise during the course of the program. You should never restrict yourself to the number of opportunities that you have. One should apply even in better labs in other countries or in your own country as well. You should make an extra effort to find out alternative paths, so that you can choose from other options based on your career goal and desire. You should make the maximum use of visits to national and international conferences. Bhavans help us um, attend many conferences. So this is a very good opportunity if one wants to pursue a PhD. You can always directly contact the professors there, and you can get in touch with them in LinkedIn and see what project openings are there in their labs and join for their further studies in their particular lab. Or you can even meet the industry experts there, so that you can know about what job opportunities are available outside. So now I would like to talk about the career options that are available for you guys after completing masters in life sciences. So one is academia. So you can always pursue a PhD if you want. Then let me make it very clear that it is not very necessary to do a PhD to excel in life science stream. You can always opt for faculty positions, research assistants, lab technicians, and lab manager positions. So there's another sector called as regulatory. You can get into quality control, policy making, or compliance sector, and then you can get into clinical research as well. So one can join as a clinical trial specialist or clinical project manager, or as a clinical research investigator or a coordinator. If someone is very good at coordinating things, so they can get into it as well. And now it's a very interesting sector, that is science communication. So it is very interesting option that's open for many people out there who are very excellent in their communication skills and are very good at content writing. So one can always choose a career in science journalism, content writing, medical writing, or blogging, podcasts, and then scientific illustrator. So all these options are also available. And then so after doing a bachelor's and master's in life sciences, there is no harm in pursuing a MBA in health sciences or digital marketing or healthcare administration. You will have more opportunities open, like data management, health hospital administration, or business intelligence lead, or you'll have resource management associate option open. And then there are other options that include health tech. Health tech is again an interdisciplinary field, that is, it is based on science and informatics. So you can be a bioinformatician, you can be a data scientist, you can be a data analyst, or someone who is interested in both in mathematics, coding, and all the other fields in computers. So they can pursue their field as a computational biologist as well. So, and this particular field right now, health tech, is very growing. I mean, you being a bioinformatician is very much needed in industry right now. So if someone is interested in doing coding and everything, so they can learn bioinformatics. They can obviously start learning Python and then R and everything related to bioinformatics. So it will be easy for you because you already have a background of science, that is genetics. So you can easily manage data that way. So it is easy for you to understand the base because you already have a basics of genet genetics. And then for biotechnology students, there are pharmaceutical industries open. One can become a biochemist, or can go into quality assurance, or they can open their own pharmacy as well if they do another diploma course. And then industry wise, one can even get into patenting if they are interested. They can get into the intellectual property rights section. And industry wise, they can get into R&D. They can become a scientist, R&D scientist there. They can get into sales and marketing as well. And then other options are also available, like in animal husbandry. If you see, you can get into veterinary research, farm manager, or can work on how to produce vaccines and medicines as well. And then there's another industry, that is agri-tech industry, where you can get into food and technology, that is food scientist or plant biologist. Again, quality control and quality assurance comes in food technology industry as well. And one who is interested in forensics, they can get into DNA fingerprinting and diagnostics lab as well. uh, and then like, now that you have done molecular genetics as your field, you can always get into NGS sequencing labs. There you can do sequencing, you can do Sanger sequencing, and then you can get into molecular biology labs. So these all are available for lab related work, like the wet lab related work. So I would like to say that all these opportunities that I spoke about are quite interesting to pursue if you are very much interested in it. See, I did my master's in biomedical genetics and I worked as a genome analyst in MedGenome for 2 years. And then I started to develop interest in bioinformatics. So I decided to do another master's in bioinformatics now. So I would like to say that there is no harm to do a double master's or choose anything else from doing a specialty course. You can always choose whatever you want to pursue, whatever interests you. I would like to conclude by saying that there is no age limit to learn something new. You have to give yourself time, explore options, learn, and pursue whatever you feel like doing, and never get into the thing that, oh, I did biomedical genetics, how can I do an MBA now? Or I did genetics, then how can I shift to bioinformatics now? So these all are interdisciplinary courses you can always pursue. So always listen to your gut feeling and uh, explore options. That is what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pujita, for giving a very broad overview of all the career options for students of genetics and biotechnology. And I wish you all the best for your, since you're, I think, going to the University of London for further studies.
Yes,
Wish
ma'am.
you all the best. God
Thank you.
bless you.
Thank
I
you so
thank
much.
Dr. Rachana, ma'am, for inviting you for this alumni meet. So I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Rachana.
Hello, Pujita.
I'm
Glad to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm very happy to see you that on a short notice you obliged our request
Thank you so much, ma'am.
in spite of
Uh,
your health issues because you had been traveling. You could make it up, so I'm glad for it. I was really worried whether you will be able to make it up or not.
no, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I hope I was very clear, and I hope I helped all the students out there. And if anyone wants to, talk to me, then they can contact me on LinkedIn or over my mail account or anything. Fine for me. Like, it works.
Fine, fine. Thank you. Take care. Once again, probably in a short notice or in a span of 1 year, once again we will reach up to you for any some similar kind of a session.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Students, do you all have any doubts? Any questions?
Hi, ma'am.
She is now going to Bye, Pujita. Do you have any queries about higher studies? You can ask her.
Nice to see you, Pujita.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Very happy to know your progress also. All the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Lots more.
Take care, Pujita.
Thank you so much. Uh, if no one has any questions, then I can log out, I guess. Ma'am, I can't hear you. So can I log out?
As you rightly said, there is no age limit to learn. Okay. I have unmuted, ma'am. Pujita, as you rightly said, there is no age limit for learning. You can explore opportunities at any part of your life. Thank you so much for inculcating that message and looking forward for more sessions from you. God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am.